Sophia had always been a dreamer, but unlike most, she fought to turn those dreams into reality. From the time she was little, she knew what she wanted: a degree in architecture from one of the best universities in the country. She spent hours sketching buildings in her notebooks while her friends doodled flowers and hearts. Her grandmother had noticed her passion and left behind a trust fund specifically for Sophia's education. Her parents promised her that the money would be safe, waiting for her when the time came. That trust fund wasn't just money, it was hope, security, and the guarantee of a future Sophia had worked tirelessly to achieve. She worked part-time at a bookstore after school, saved every dollar, studied late into the night, and pushed herself harder than anyone else in her class. So when the letter of acceptance finally arrived from her dream university, she thought the universe had finally rewarded her. She held the letter against her chest and cried tears of joy. But joy doesn't last forever. One quiet evening, as Sophia sat at the kitchen table planning her new life, her father entered with a grave look. Her mother followed. They sat her down and told her something she would never forget. "Sophia," her father began, "we've decided to use your college fund for Ethan's wedding." At first, Sophia laughed nervously. Surely it was a joke. But their serious faces crushed her hope. "What? That money is for my college. Grandma left it for me." Sophia's voice trembled. Her mother sighed heavily. "Ethan's marriage is important, Sophia. He's marrying into a wealthy family. This wedding has to be perfect. It's not just about him. It's about all of us. The family's reputation is at stake." Sophia's heart shattered. Her future, her years of work, her grandmother's gift, all stolen for flowers, catering, and a parade of shallow show-offs. She begged them to reconsider. She cried until her throat ached, but her father's tone grew cold. "You're smart, Sophia. You'll find another way, but this wedding is once in a lifetime." That night, while laughter and wedding planning echoed downstairs, Sophia locked herself in her room. She stared at her acceptance letter until it blurred with her tears. Rage and despair consumed her, and then, something inside her shifted. Through the tears, she whispered to herself, "They'll regret this. I'll make them regret every bit of it." Her dream had been stolen. But a new fire was born. The days that followed were some of the hardest of Sophia's life. Ethan strutted around the house with a smug smile, flashing his new suits, his fancy watch, and talking endlessly about his upcoming grand wedding. Whenever Sophia walked into the room, he smirked. "Cheer up, sis," he would say. "Maybe college isn't for you anyway. But hey, you'll get to be in my wedding pictures. Isn't that enough?" Each word felt like a knife. Her parents only fueled the pain, showering Ethan with attention while ignoring Sophia's quiet suffering. They treated her protests as childish tantrums. They never once acknowledged the betrayal. Sophia's friends were outraged. "This is theft. You have to expose them," one said, but Sophia shook her head. She knew, screaming now wouldn't fix anything. Revenge required patience. Revenge required timing. She noticed how obsessed Ethan's fiancée, Amelia, was with appearances. Amelia bragged to anyone who would listen about marrying into a wealthy, respected family. She wanted perfection. She wanted power. And Sophia knew if Amelia ever discovered the truth about the stolen money, everything Ethan and her parents had built would collapse. That became her plan. Sophia watched quietly, pretending to be supportive. She smiled at Amelia, nodded at Ethan's ridiculous requests, even helped her parents with wedding details. Behind that calm mask, she collected documents: her grandmother's will, bank statements, proof of every transfer that drained her college fund, every laugh Ethan threw at her, every cruel word her parents spoke. Sophia tucked it all away like fuel for the fire, because she knew, when the right moment came, that fire would burn everything down. By now, the wedding had become the event of the season. Guests from across the state were invited. The venue was lavish, the decorations extravagant, the catering over the top. Ethan bragged to anyone who would listen that it would be the wedding of the year. And Sophia, she played her role flawlessly. To her family, she appeared defeated, quiet, compliant. They assumed she had accepted her fate. But inside, she was sharper than ever. She secretly made copies of every important document. She confided in a trusted professor from school, who encouraged her to hold on to her evidence. She also reached out to Amelia's best friend, planting small seeds of doubt about Ethan's finances. When Amelia asked Sophia for help with seating charts and decorations, Sophia smiled sweetly and said yes. But as Amelia gushed about her perfect life, Sophia imagined the moment her world would crash, and she waited. As the wedding drew closer, Sophia stayed calm. She attended rehearsals, wore her bridesmaid dress with grace, and acted as though she were just another pawn in Ethan's celebration. But in her mind, she rehearsed her own scene, the moment she would take the stage and flip the script. Because Sophia wasn't just planning to ruin a wedding, she was planning to reclaim her life. The big day arrived. The venue sparkled with gold and white. Guests whispered about the wealth, the grandeur, Ethan stood at the altar, beaming with pride. Amelia glowed in her dress, the very image of perfection. And then, Sophia stepped forward. She wasn't the broken sister they remembered. She wasn't the quiet girl they thought they had silenced. She carried herself with power, a folder clutched in her hands. "Before this wedding goes any further," she said, her voice cutting through the chatter, "there's something everyone here needs to know." Gasps echoed through the hall. Amelia's family leaned forward. Ethan's smile faltered. Sophia opened the folder and pulled out the documents. Her grandmother's will, the bank statements, every proof that the college fund meant for her future had been stolen for this wedding. Amelia's face drained of color. "You mean, all this, it's stolen? You used your sister's money for this?" she screamed at Ethan. Guests began murmuring. Phones were pulled out, recording every second. The whispers grew louder. How could they do this to their own daughter? Ethan stammered, trying to explain. Her parents rushed forward, begging Sophia to stop. But she didn't. She held her ground. "This wedding," she declared, "is built on betrayal, on lies, on the future you stole from me." Chaos exploded. Amelia ripped off her veil and stormed out. Her wealthy family followed, furious at the humiliation. The wedding collapsed before it even began, and Ethan, he stood frozen at the altar, his perfect day shattered into a nightmare. The aftermath was brutal. Ethan's reputation was destroyed. Amelia broke off the engagement, her family threatening legal action. Guests who once admired Sophia's parents now whispered behind their backs, condemning them for betraying their own daughter. Their family reputation lay in ruins. Sophia, however, rose stronger than ever. With the evidence she had, she was able to reclaim part of her stolen fund. Scholarships and community support filled in the gaps. She was accepted into her university after all. On the day she left for college, Sophia packed her bags with quiet satisfaction. She looked back at her parents' house one last time, not with sadness, but with resolve. "They thought they could bury me," she whispered to herself, "but all they did was plant a seed." And with that, she walked away, leaving behind betrayal, lies, and the ashes of a ruined wedding. Her future was finally hers.